Most people think the operating system runs programs, but that's not actually true. At the lowest level, there is only one thing executing instructions: the CPU. Whether it's a browser, a game, Linux, Windows, or even the kernel itself, everything eventually becomes machine instructions executed by the CPU. In fact, the kernel is also just a program. It contains functions, variables, data structures, and machine instructions just like any other software. The difference is that the kernel runs with special privileges and has direct access to the hardware. But even the kernel cannot execute itself. Its instructions must still be fetched, decoded, and executed by the CPU. So the real question is not, how does a program run? The real question is, how does the CPU know what to run? When a computer powers on, the CPU starts from a predefined memory location and begins executing instructions. Those instructions eventually load the operating system kernel into RAM. The CPU then begins executing kernel instructions. Using those instructions, the kernel creates processes, manages memory, controls devices, and decides which program should get CPU time next. But the kernel doesn't directly run programs. Instead, it tells the CPU, execute instructions from this process now. A moment later, it may switch to another process, then another, then back again. This happens thousands or even millions of times every second. From our perspective, dozens of applications appear to run simultaneously. In reality, the CPU is rapidly switching between different execution contexts. At any instant, the CPU is executing instructions from exactly one context: a user program, the kernel, or another process. Everything that happens on a computer ultimately comes down to one thing: the CPU executing instructions one after another. The operating system's job is not to run programs. Its job is to decide what the CPU should execute next.